This is episode 18 of Inside the Game. Another week. We are your isolation destination right here on One Soccer and the One Soccer platforms. Hope you're all doing well. Gareth Wheeler with you. If you have any questions for any of our guests, at Gareth Wheeler is where you find me on Twitter. Welcome to our new time, at least for our premieres, 2 p.m. Eastern time, 11 a.m. Pacific. So thrilled that you've come aboard for that. You can watch anytime, any of these interviews, any of our episodes of Inside the Game on our YouTube or our One Soccer platform. Remember to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff as we continue to go twice a week, chatting with the best of the best, really the biggest and brightest in the North American football world. Later on this week, coming up on Thursday, Claudio Reyna is going to join us, former Leverkusen, Rangers, Sunderland, Man City midfielder. He's now sporting director at Austin FC, who are one of the soon-to-be MLS expansion teams who are in the mix. So I'm really looking forward to that. And oh, by the way, his kid Gio playing pretty well right now at Borussia Dortmund. So we're looking forward to that. But tonight, we have a guest of all guests. This guy, top player, one of the most accomplished Canadian footballers in the game today, and a key member of not only his Cardiff City side, but also really in the forefront of the plans of John Herdman and the Canadian men's national team. Coming out of the football factory known as Brampton, Ontario, his talent was undeniable from an early age, with a number of top clubs vying for his commitment. He uprooted his Canadian life at the age of 13 to make the trip across the Atlantic, signing for Blackburn, where he's remained really over in the UK predominantly for the last 17 years. Yeah, it's been 17 years already, from Blackburn to QPR, and now Cardiff. He's played over 160 games in the Premier League and 175 in the Championship, helping his side gain promotion twice and maybe a third time coming up in a few weeks' time. For the past 5 years, he's grown into his role with the Canadian men's national team, highlighted by an inspired man-of-the-match performance. He wore the captain's armband at BMO Field, scored a hat trick. You watched on One Soccer. It was quite a night, a 6-0 victory over Cuba. In fact, in his last 10 games for Canada, he's produced a return of 9 goals and 8 assists. Incredible. A number that bodes well for both he and the program moving forward. We're thrilled that he's able to take some time as the championship is about to restart, and his Cardiff City side are just 2 points outside of a playoff spot. And the first game back comes against the top side in the championship in Leeds on June 21st in what should be a dramatic run-in to the finish of the season. He celebrated his birthday last week as well, so a happy belated and a welcome to Inside the Game to Junior Hoilett. How's it going, Junior? Happy belated.
Thank you, man. That was a great introduction, man.
Thanks,
you put some stuff I didn't even know.
I do know how old you turned. Do you want to share with the people what birthday you just celebrated?
It was my 30th birthday. It was a great quarantine birthday, spent it with my family, so it was a good one.
How did you celebrate? Because I actually turned 40 at the end of the month, and I'm worried I'm going to be stuck inside with my wife and my dog.
I had training, so I woke up, went to training, and then when I came back, I had some surprise balloons and presents waiting for me from my partner and my son. So it was good to spend time with family.
Nice. I honestly can't believe that you're 30, and just going through your career. I mean, I remember you as a young man coming through all the hype, the outstanding play, and you continue to just carry it on, Junior. You're having a great season with Cardiff before this season obviously erupted, came to a halt. How are you feeling right now in terms of where your game's at?
Yeah, I feel great. Under a new manager, he put me into a different kind of role where I'm more of a leader of the team to encourage the young players around me and uplift the team. And it shows how we're bringing sparks to the moments to lift the team in certain games and get the performances in. So it's great. Great how I evolved into my new role, and hope we could kick back in the next week to push on and make the playoffs.
You're still quick. You're still energetic. You're still lively on the. You don't play like a 30-year-old. Do you find that your game kind of changes in some of the intricacies over time the longer that you play?
Yeah, of course. As I got older, obviously, I'm not as quick as I was when I was younger. So you have to think 2 steps ahead of the young players. Now you see some lightning players that's I'm trying to catch sometimes, but yeah, you have to think 2 steps ahead, and you have to make your brain think faster than other opponents sometimes. So it comes with experience, and it's great that over time I've played at the highest level, and I could use my experience in the game today.
It's been a difficult couple of months. You and your family, everyone's okay? And how much are you in touch with your family back home here in Canada?
Yeah, it's been a difficult few months, and yeah, everybody's safe and well, and I could tell you uh during the quarantine, it's brought family closer together. uh I got more time to FaceTime people abroad and family in Jamaica, America, just to make sure everybody has a group chat. So it's I can tell you that it's bring my family closer together. We have a lot more time to talk on FaceTime and have conversations that we wouldn't normally have because everybody's on the go. So that's one thing positive we could take out of the quarantine.
No excuse. I mean, they can't. You can't say that you're traveling or
Exactly
or
right.
you're on the field.
Exactly. They know where you are.
Exactly. Obviously, it's not only COVID, but all the protests that are widespread. Do you feel like this has been an opportunity for you and your teammates to come together and really unite through, facing adversity?
That's true. During this time on protests, it's 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 time for change. I think it's something that we don't need in this world, especially in this day and age, and something that is we need to overcome. And if it's not now, what then when? We can't carry on with racism in the world today, especially uh, in the world we're living in now during these kind of times. I think everybody's in it together, and if we all can unite together, the world will be a better place.
Well said. And it just seems like this is something specifically with the with the anti-racist protests that are going on right now. I mean, this is something that the footballing world has battled and kind of fought with half measures over the course of time. It just seems like now is a definitive moment, right, Junior? Like this is a time where the footballing world can really take that step and unite and come together. And you're seeing the clubs in Germany and really across the world come together right now.
Yeah, it's great that not only the football world, but uh, other platforms, celebrities, everybody is letting their voice be heard and voicing their opinions to influence other people around them to step up and make the change as well. So uh, it's great to see, and I hope it could bring the world together into a better place and could see the change for the future. It's great that it's not just uh, in one continent, but in every continent in the world, everybody's voicing their opinion. So it's great, and especially during COVID, it's a place where we need to stay together for that to fight uh, that virus, and that we could stick together and fight this challenging moment together, the world will be a better place moving forward.
Well said. I mean, it's not easy as athletes because people look up to you to be a voice on social issues as well and lead by example. But you have an incredibly important run-in with your club coming up in a few weeks' time. I mean, as athletes, do you feel the weight of responsibility to be socially, aware and forward-thinking, be involved, and at the same time, you got to keep up your football, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Because you have that, especially in this day and age where you have the social media platform where people could follow you and see what you're doing by just a click of a finger. It's
Right.
it comes with a positive where you could voice your opinion and it could be heard, and within a minute it could go around the world and everybody could uh, hear your opinion and what you have to say on certain matters. So I think it's important for players and athletes as well as celebrities to voice their opinions for the younger generation and people that's following them. And because if you don't, if you if you listen, I know a lot of people are like humble, like they don't realize they have that power, but uh, you do have that power, and your voice is a powerful tool. So let it be heard.
Absolutely. And you're a hero and a role model to many within this country and where you are right now and playing for your previous clubs. I wish you nothing but the best and continued success as you move forward, both with endeavors both on and off the field. What's cool about this program, Junior, and this is maybe something growing up in Canadian football, we never really took enough time over the years to shine a proper spotlight on our best and brightest. And you're one of them. And this gives us a chance to sit back and reflect upon the successes of your career thus far. So I'm really thrilled that we're able to do this here tonight, because a lot of people remember you as this young player with a ton of buzz as a 11, 12, 13-year-old playing in Brampton. I mean, I grew up playing in Mississauga, and Brampton was always just a little bit ahead of where we were at that time. But I mean, when you look back at that time, I mean, it must seem like a lifetime ago that you were living and playing in Canada, not where you are now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was speaking to a friend about this the other day, how time flies, and especially how I just turned 30. We just reflected about where we came from, and how the games changed as well. Because when I was growing back up, there wasn't no Toronto FC or Vancouver or Montreal playing at the highest level in North America. So there wasn't much outlets for youngsters to come and follow their dreams. So it's crazy how everything unfolded, and just blessed to have that opportunity and to prove my skill on the highest platform.
So how did it happen for you? Like, how did it click? Because you're right, there was no academy setups to come through, no way for a club to really give you that platform to show that you can play with the best of the best. So how did it work for you? How did you make your way over to Blackburn initially?
Okay, so I was playing for Oakville at the time at the age of 10, and we went to Ian Rush tournament in Wales, and yeah, I was playing, and I got MVP of the tournament, and I got scouted by numerous amounts of clubs, and Blackburn invited me to go around, and for some reason I went around. That's the one I was most attracted to. I think they showed me the most support with not only me but my family, and I felt most comfortable with them, and so I kept going over every summer break and every March break, staying months at a time, and they were impressed with me and wanted me to make the move over at age 13.
That's a lot for a 13-year-old to deal with, right? Like you're young at that time. You weren't going over as someone that was fully mature. So how was that for you in retrospect? Was it difficult, or were you just kind of caught up with the world in a whirlwind and you just kind of rolled with it?
Well, it was just a love of the game of soccer. I think I was blessed to have the taste at age 10 and 11 to go over there and train with their players and be involved in that environment. And I think for the 2 years, I got used to the environment, and always, every time I came back, I always wanted to go back. So when they invited me to move over permanent, it took me a while to think about it, and it wasn't an easy decision to leave my family, but it was something I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to follow my dream and give it a shot. So when I moved over at age 13, the first year was the most difficult year, but after everything settled down and you get over the homesickness, and then you could see my football started to excel, and my brother came over 2 years after, and my dad came over with me as well, and everything settled down and my football took off.
I always remember, because I was breaking into the industry at the time, I always remember hearing about David Junior Hoilett, and but then it just turned into just Junior. When did that happen? Where did that come from? I think I remember I was told once upon a time, but I forget now.
Nobody really called him David. Even as a youngster, everybody called me Junior. So I don't know how David got in it anyway. So
it's just people being proper, right? Reading your proper name. That's it.
Exactly.
Your coach put it on the team sheet, didn't he?
Yeah, you messed up.
So you've always gone as Junior first.
Yeah, I tried to get Junior on my back, but the league wouldn't let me.
Really? Why not?
Yeah. I don't know. I think because it wasn't. I guess at the time it had to be my last name on my passport or something like that, but they wouldn't let me. So just went with it.
What a mistake. That's fine. I mean, your brother was coming through as well. It was like these Hoilett boys, like, look out for them. Were you aware of the buzz that was going on around your name at that time?
At the age of 13, 14?
Well, when you're growing up, when you're just coming through Blackburn, because Canada's always been looking for that next star player to come through, and you were it, and you were on the tip of the tongues of many Canadian soccer supporters out there at that time. Were you aware of that?
Uh, Not when I first moved over there. I wasn't really aware of it. I think when I made my debut for Blackburn and
Right.
I started getting more playing time, that's when I realized and I started getting more shout outs from the likes of Atiba and Atiba Hutchinson and Di Rosario. And that's when I seen the buzz coming up. So, but not at an early age. I guess there wasn't that much social media at the time, so I wasn't really paying attention to the news or anything. I was just in my in my books and in the soccer field. So not, but once I made my debut and I started getting more player time and concreted my starting role for Blackburn Rovers, that's when I realized the buzz was going around, and uh, that's when my name was getting out there more.
It seems like you have a proper footballing family, but if I understand it right, your father was a DJ and a music promoter. And we had Danny Dickio on the show last week, and he was a DJ as well. So did you kind of share that love for sports and music? Was that kind of the vibe of your family?
Yeah, my dad is a DJ and a music promoter, and he didn't play soccer. He played basketball, and he had a scholarship for basketball. But he was always a fan of the game of soccer, and coming from Jamaican heritage, he he had a love of game of soccer as well. So, and then at a young age, I was playing soccer, baseball, basketball, juggling all three sports at the same time. But I got more fond of soccer and had a liking more to soccer, and you can see my development excelling quicker in the game of soccer, and that's when uh, all three of us, or all my brothers, were playing at the same time, and that's when he pushed me more in the game of soccer.
So they were fully supportive of you making that move over to the UK at 13.
Yeah, of course. They they didn't push me to make the decision. They asked me from the age of 12, and then I was like, I'm not sure yet. And then at the age of 13, the club really wanted me to move over at that time. And even when they asked me, I still had to take months to decide, but uh, I wanted to make a decision. I wanted to follow my dream, and it was something I wasn't pushed into, but the love of soccer pushed me into it.
I read and heard that a number of clubs wanted your signature. I believe that Manchester United was one of those teams as well. So, how did you go about choosing Blackburn as the club to launch your career, as the best place to go to develop as a player?
Uh, like I said, I just felt most comfortable with Blackburn, their setup, and how they treated me. It was a family-oriented club, and yeah, I remember going to Man United and Liverpool, but I think I felt they had a lot more players on their books that they showed more interest to and love to, and I didn't feel that they would really push me to break through and make it to the high first team level. But when I went to Blackburn, I felt that more support and more comfortable with not only me but my family, and that's what pushed me to decide to go to Blackburn.
How difficult is it as a young Canadian? Because not only are you uprooting your life, trying to start fresh at a very young age, but you also had to face the problem of trying to get a work permit to be actually be allowed to play in the UK at that time, and you had to go over for a couple short stints in Germany in order to accrue enough playing time and make that your way in to be able to play for the first team. So, what were the challenges like as a young Canadian player trying to break through?
Yeah, of course. At that time, there was no Canadian players playing it in Europe at the highest level, so it was tough because we was looked upon as uh, just ice hockey players, really. They didn't know we play soccer in Canada, so I was
So
always looked down upon.
stereotypical, right? So
Yeah,
stereotypical.
exactly. It's so it was always looked down upon. So I really had to make my feet do the talking for me, and once I realized, well, I had to go to Germany to get my passport, my European visa, in order to play in the Premier League. Uh, it was a tough decision because it was a different environment, different language. But once I went over there and for the for first month, I loved it over there. It was a great experience, and I think it helped my game in soccer and taught me a lot of things on and off the field.
You got to play for one of the coolest clubs in Germany. I think I have a St. Pauli scarf somewhere in my house with the skull and cross. It's just so badass. Like everything about that club seems like that too. Was it like that in reality? Was it pretty cool playing for St. Pauli?
Oh no, that was a great experience. The fans, the atmosphere, everything there is like it was it was a nice family club to play for as well. They didn't There wasn't any typical club where it was passionate about soccer. If you lost, they would boo you or nothing. No, they were so supportive. They were just a club that wanted to have fun, and you could see by how the fans reacted. Even when we're losing, they're still cheering, still want to have a good time, and so supportive of the club. And that's a club I'll never forget. It was a great experience playing for them.
It's a lot of people's second favorite team just because of the branding, the logo, the vibe, the aura around it. It's super cool. And you got that experience before you went to Blackburn, and really you hit the ground running. It took some time to see first team action in the Premier League, but you had some success in the League Cup. You scored a winning penalty against Chelsea as well. You were the fifth shooter, and you scored the winner. So you must have been on top of the world at that time, weren't you?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like playing against Drogba at the age of 19, playing against Balak and players like that, world stars like that, age of 19 is a dream come true. And then to get a winning penalty for the team to advance in the League Cup is a memorable memorial moment. So it was great for me as a player, and it helped my development to push on as a player, and it's a great experience.
Did you feel like you fit in immediately, or did it take some time for you to kind of figure out the pace of the game, the style of play, or was that transition easy?
From German football.
Well, just stepping up into the first team in the Premier League as a 19-year-old.
I guess certain aspects of the game, it took me a while to fit in and learn, but I was pretty quick to catch on with it because I was training day in day out, and I was determined to cement my place in the first team. So of course, right away I didn't expect to hit the ball running, but as I trained, as you get in the atmosphere and you're training day in day out, you get a feel for it, and the tempo and the style of play. It helps you development, and it's a great experience because you're playing at the age of 19 with some great players around you that could teach you a lot and show you the ways where to be in certain positions and certain plays. So it was great to be in the environment, and I didn't think I took that long to catch on. I know players that took a lot longer, especially coming from different country as well. So but once you're in that environment from a young age, you can catch on to the English style of play. But once I got into the first team, I didn't think it took me that long to catch on, but it did take some time.
You grew up at the club, right? And you had some really good times. I mean, after Sam Allardyce left and Steve Keane took over, you went on a real nice run of form. You scored one of two incredible goals against Wolves. You really like playing against Wolves, Junior, or at least scoring great goals against them. What do you make of your time at Blackburn? Obviously, they've fallen down the table. They haven't been in the Premier League really since you were there. I mean, what do you make of your time that you spent at Blackburn?
Oh, I think that's one of the greatest times of my career. It helped me develop into a player I am today, and I owe the club a lot of support and a lot of respect in that aspect. It's a great club there, and they've done a lot for me, and not only my family as well. So it's a great club, and I know they'll be back in the Premier League soon, and it was a great experience for me.
in 2012, you had a decision to make in terms of your contract. It was incredible. Is FIFA named you one of 13 young players to watch, and that's when your name is really out there. And you had a decision to make because there's a number of clubs that wanted to sign you at that time. You decided that you're going to take your career to QPR. What went into making that decision, and why was that the best place for you at that time?
At that time, the manager that was at Blackburn, Mark Hughes, who made the move up there, and he called me up, and I knew how he worked and with staff around him, and the style of football I thought helped me, and it was something I wanted to do to take my football career to the next level, and it was one I was most comfortable with. And at the time, I didn't really have anybody giving me a contract, so it was one of the decisions that I thought was best for me at the time to go to excel and take my football to the next level.
You had quite the experience at QPR because the first year was a struggle. I believe you dealt with some injuries as well, and QPR went down that year. But you guys bounced right back up, and you were such a key component of that win at Wembley that punched your Premier League ticket. You set up Bobby Zamora in the 89th minute for the match winner. I mean, playing at Wembley, that must be an incredible experience. I can only imagine, Junior, but doing that on a stage that meant so much for you and the club. Tell me about that experience. What that was like?
Oh, that was a great experience. Walking out in front of 90,000+ fans, and the first time I felt a stadium really shake as you walking out through the tunnel.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a great experience, and it was great to get the win as well. Such a dramatic win for the club, and get back into the Premier League that meant so much for the club and me at the time. So that game was one game I'll never forget. I still see it, still watch it to this day sometimes. So
Do you really?
yeah, they put reruns on Sky Sports over here. So yeah, it was great. It was a great experience, man. The atmosphere, my family in the crowd as well. It was a great moment.
It's an incredible ride, and you've now done that twice. You've helped a team to promotion. What's it like as a player to go through that roller coaster? Because I mean, fans and supporters, they live and die by every kick. I mean, it's on a knife's edge oftentimes, and you need a little bit of luck, you need a little bit of form, you need things that go your way. But as a player, how do you deal with the stress and the pressure to go through something like a battle for promotion and something that you're going to be facing over the next few months here?
Yeah, it's as a player, you have to just remain focused at all time, and always give 100% plus to try to get that extra tackle in, or that extra cross in, or extra header in to help the team win at any cost. So it's something as a player, if you know you're giving 100%, you can live with your result, win, lose, or draw. So, and the fans can respect you if they see you giving your all for the club, for the shirt, and for yourself as well. So as a player, you just have to remain focused and go out prepared for what the manager gives to you on the game day. And also you need that support from your team as well, knowing that your team is also there for you to give you 100% and help you in tough situations in games.
At QPR was also the place where you developed a relationship with Neil Warnock as your manager. I believe he was an interim manager at QPR at the time.
Yeah.
And he ended up going to Cardiff, but he told you, because you were out of contract, he told you to wait for him, and then he was going to bring you wherever he goes. I mean, that requires a lot of trust, doesn't it? That you're saying, okay, Gaffer, I'm going to wait for you, and really let's see how this plays out. But it's really worked out for both of you, didn't it? Making the move to South Wales.
Yeah, of course. At the time, he told me he's going to get a manager within a few weeks, but it took him a few months, really.
Were you ringing him all the time?
Yeah, and I stopped, like, what's happening? But yeah, so it turned out to be important, great decision for both of us. It's a manager that helped me at QPR when I was out of the team. He put me back in the team and showed me so much support and showed me so much confidence in me. And it was a manager I knew that I wanted to work for again. And me making that decision to wait for him till he gets a club paid off, and he got me. Well, we got each other back into the Premier League.
Well, and it only took you 2 seasons as well. I mean, that must have been a real special time. And I mean, my father was born in North Wales, and I consider myself a Welsh Canadian or whatever you want to call it. But the passion of the people, whether it's football, whether it's rugby, it must be a special place to play. Playing in Wales, whether you're Cardiff or Swansea, I know they're rivals, but playing, you know, amongst the best clubs in England at that time. Is there a badge of honor to play for a club based in Wales?
Of course, playing for Cardiff is such an honor to play for a club like this. They kind of remind me of St. Pauli, the way they support you through thick and thin, and they're always there no matter what. And they're always showing up to games far on the other side of the country, becoming full support as well. So it's great playing for a club like this that has a true passion for the team and always there to support. And you can see how they supported teams in the Premier League as well in Championship. That's the same support throughout.
Last season was both a tough one for you and the players, both on and off the field. Going through that relegation battle, you finished 18th. You were so close. A good run of form at the end of the year almost saw you to safety. Just how difficult was that to deal with all that was thrown your way last campaign, Junior?
Yeah, it was difficult. It was a difficult campaign to deal with, especially the loss of our teammate. Really put a burden on the club and the city, as well as the football league as well. So it was something difficult to deal with at the time. But we showed the fans and everybody in the game of football showed their support for the club and for the family. And it was difficult to deal with, but we tried our best to remain in the Premier League, and we just fell short of it.
It seems like your group, through dealing with that adversity, even at the adversity to start this season as well, you've kind of bounced back together. You have a very deep squad. You have some good leaders in the team as well. Is that what's key? And you've done this before, going through a promotion battle. Is that what's key to successful teams in the league championship, groups that are deep and do have leaders and can come together? And now you're one of those leaders in the team.
Yeah, of course. I've experienced that on both occasions, especially with the promotion with Cardiff, where we was the underdogs from game one. Nobody knew we could do it, even when we went on a run and we was in first place for a while. Everybody thought we would still fall off. So, and it shows togetherness in the team, on and off the field, the way we support one each other, and we kept the support in the dressing room, and it shows. It brings it onto the field. Once you know your teammate will die for you, it shows, and it gives you the extra passion to go and give it your all on the field and make that extra yard for your teammate to get that result for the club as well. So it shows that once you have that togetherness and that leadership support as a team, it could bring you a long way in the game of soccer.
You played 32 games this year, 4 goals. You're really a key member of Neil Harris's group. And speaking of goals, I mean, your goal against Wolves off the crossbar down, I mean, it was seen and praised worldwide. You tell me you go back and watch that game from Wembley. How many times have you watched that goal you scored?
I watch that goal. Oh, my son makes me watch that goal almost every day.
Do you really? You wake up, it's on your phone?
He has it on TV. He knows how to put it on TV himself now. So now he replays it for me. It's just one of those goals that you always remember, and to get the win as well, especially in a time where we was in the bottom 3, to get that win to get us some points on the table at the time. it was a special moment for me and a special moment for the club.
See, that was last season, and it was dramatic the way that it played out. And it was manufactured a little bit of a different way, but coming down that left side, right foot, top right corner, you scored a great goal, Canada, Jamaica, 27 Gold Cup, where you hit that one pretty sweet as well. Which goal was technically more difficult to finish? Because the ball on the run and the ball rolling at your feet kind of gives you a little bit of a different context.
I think when the one where I scored against Jamaica is a bit more difficult because you have to maneuver your body and the ball and to get the angle on it, while the other one, the ball was rolling and it rolled perfectly. All I needed to do was get that sweet connection on it. So I think the one against Jamaica was more difficult, especially running and have to maneuver and make the angle for myself to get that connection.
See, that's what I was thinking too, because the one against Wolves is a sweeter finish. Like, you couldn't hit it any better, but the degree of difficulty on the other one, it was exceptional as well. So you're running this season. Are you prepared to play in stadiums without fans? Like the Cardiff City fans are incredible. They're going to be playing in empty stadiums. Your first games against Leeds. I mean, you have some big games: Bristol City, Blackburn, Fulham, all coming up. What do you think of your chances about this experience playing in front of empty stadiums coming up for you guys?
Yeah, it's going to be a change, something we're going to have to get used to really quickly, playing in empty stadiums. It's probably where the stage we're at now, where we have to get used to it, and hopefully we can get the fans back in as soon as possible. But I think we just have to give our own support as teammates and give our all on the pitch to get that vital wins coming up, because we're only 2 points out of the playoffs, and every game is at stake now, so we can't have any excuses going in. So we have to prepare ourselves to the most extent to be ready on that day, no matter what comes our way. So it'll be different, of course, but I think as professionals we have to show our own support and support each other.
Are the lads confident?
Yeah, we everybody came back in training in great shape and ran to go. And even during the lockdown, we kept in contact with each other and showed our workouts on the Strava app to make sure everybody's put in that shift to maintain fitness, because we knew coming back was going to be right into it with some important games coming up. So it's come fast. Next weekend is our first game, so we're prepared and we'll be ready for it.
I know one of the Cardiff City staff members was diagnosed positive with COVID. Thankfully, no one else has. Are the players nervous? Are you nervous, Junior? Are you feeling pretty confident that everything's under control as much as it can be?
Yeah, before we had our first training session, of course, players were concerned because it's not only us we're concerned about. Of course, we have families, young families at home that we're concerned about and concerned with their safety. But as we came in and having regular testing, it really calmed our nerves, and we could ease our nerves going into training and being around our teammates.
Before I get to Canada, I got to ask you about your goal celebration. I don't know if I've asked you or anyone else before, but it's your trademark. It's your go-to. What is it? What is it all about? What does it stand for? What does it mean?
It's my son's dance. He's been doing it since he was born. So I thought, I'm gonna make that my trademark celebration. And it's special because when I do it, he knows exactly what's it mean. So it was my son's dance move there as my trademark celebration.
Right on. Do you think he'll ever come to you and say, let's freshen it up, let's do something else? Or is that going to be your go-to from now on?
That'll be my go-to for now, but I know he's of age now where we're playing in the garden and he's doing a lot more celebrations. So he'll probably try to switch it up for me now.
He's gonna have to. You're gonna have to keep up with him. Let's just spend a couple moments talking about your career with the Canadian men's national team. It took you until 2015 to decide, you know what, I'm gonna go forward and play with Canada. How much thought was put into that decision? Because I know there was a potentially playing for England. I mean, you've lived there since a young boy. Your your parents are from Jamaica as well, so players can get pulled in different directions. So, what inevitably had you commit to Canada in 2015?
Uh, I've seen the change in the Canadian program. I've seen a lot of positive steps they were making, and you can see to this day and age uh, the way that the Canadian program has moved forward. So that's what made my decision easy to come play for the national team and uh, bring bring Canada to the next level.
I mean, and you see it with players like you and the team and the impact that you've made. Um, is there a part of you that says, you know what, maybe I should have committed sooner? Or when you look back, was 2015 just the perfect time in your career? You'd established yourself professionally and you were clear of mind in joining a program that was essentially on the rise, moving in the right direction.
Yeah, of course. In the back of your mind, you always have that thought. But I think where my game was at that point in time, at a young age, I just wanted to mark my name in the English Premier League, and there's uh, lot of pressure, especially just to cement your name in the first team. And I seen down the line players would go play for the national team and come back, and they lose their starting position. So it was a it was a tough decision to make at a young age. So that's why I kind of waited out to make my decision. And when I seen the national team making great steps moving forward, it made my decision easier. So I I didn't. I think it was the right time to make my decision coming to the national team program. And since I made my debut, the program has excelled massively, and we're closer to making our name in history.
Canada is thankful that you did make that decision. Were you close to representing another country?
No, no, there was interest of Jamaica, of course, because
Right.
my family's from there. But deep down, I had no desire, no passion to play for Jamaica. Uh, I grew up in Canada. That's where I first started my game of soccer there, and all my family lives in Canada, and have I still have friends on the national team, so it's great to play with uh, my lifelong friends in the national team, and
Well,
it's an easy decision for me.
well, yeah, and look, 27 games now, 9 goals. The past 2 years with Canada have been incredible for you, and it's really brought a lot of encouragement, enthusiasm around the program as well. I mean, you played in 2 Gold Cups, but really, this last calendar year specifically, Junior, it seems like when this has started to click, not just with you, but the rest of the team. What's been critical to that change? And what are you experiencing now with the Canadian men's national team that you're saying, forget 2026, let that happen, but 2022, we should be there. We should be in the World Cup for the first time since 1986.
Yeah, we have a enormous amount of talent in the national team. We have players playing in Champions League, Europa League. We have a nice squad and a nice balance of players that's determined to get that national team to the next step and try qualify for the World Cup. I think we're so close, and I think we have a great staff and manager that's putting in the extra yards to make sure we have a great chance to qualify. And think uh, if we keep our focus as team, as a team and as a player, we can take the nation to that World Cup.
Two special nights at BMO last fall, a 6-0 win over Cuba. You score a hat trick. You were so good that night. You set up a goal as well. And obviously the 2-0 win a month later against the United States. Just how special were those 2 nights? The fact that you're playing in your own backyard and you and the team just had so much success.
It was a great moment for not only me but for the national team, uh, especially uh, wearing the captain's armband for the first time in my home city in front of all my family, and then to top it off with a hat trick was uh, is a magical moment for me and for my family. And then to come back a month later and rewrite history to beat America for the first time, and I think it was 40-40. 40 years or 45 years.
36, I think it was. Yeah. But who's
36.
counting?
Yeah, it was just it was great, and it shows how far the national team has come, and it's moving in the right direction. And it's a great moment to share that moment with not only my family, in front of my family, but my teammates as well.
So on the hat trick, was there any, because the third goal was a penalty, correct?
Yeah.
What was there any discussion that someone else was going to take it, or did you, how did that work out, or just go up and grab it?
No chance. I think Cal Lara got the ball before me, but he knew he was gonna give it. He had to give it to me. I was not letting that one go.
It was another Brampton boy. Like, what's in the water in Brampton? Like, between you and we had Daniil on the show, and he said that you put your arm around him when he made the move to London as well, and how much he appreciated that. Kyle Larin, Jonathan Zorio. I mean, it's just a factory right now. Like,
I know.
are all you guys close? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, we're close. We always spend time with each other off the field as well. We all started with the big boy T, but he was the first veteran. But yeah, I don't know, something in the air in Brampton, I guess. There's a lot of talent there. Even growing up as a young age, there's a lot of talent there. In all leagues in OYSL as well. So I don't know, something in the air, and if we could keep developing, then it'd be perfect for the national team as well.
Do you still consider it home? Because I mean, you've lived more than half your life overseas, right? But do you still consider Brampton your hometown?
Of course. Every time I go back there, it's a special moment for me, and all my family is there, so it's forever be home for me.
Well, he's not from Brampton, but he's a pretty good player. I'm not sure if you've heard of this guy named Alphonso Davies. You've been on the field with him a couple of times. What do you make of what you're seeing from him right now and the growth that you've seen from playing with him for the national team to where he is today? It's pretty extraordinary, isn't it?
It's amazing. The way he's excelled into the Bayern Munich team so quickly, and to stamp his name in that permanent position, and to play in Champions League and show his talent. You can see he's playing with no fear at a young age of 19. It's incredible, and you can see he's a quick learner. Not only the way he reads the game, but the way he brings himself, gets himself prepared for the game. You can see his IQ for the game of soccer is immense, and he'll go a long way in the game of soccer if he keeps doing what he's doing today.
Did you see this coming, Junior? Did you see it coming that things were going to click for him so quickly?
I remember when he first came to the national team, age 16 in Montreal. I seen his talent and the ability he has, and I knew he was going to be he's going to play at the highest level, but I didn't know it was going to be so quick, to be honest. I think within 2 years he was playing at the highest level. So it's incredible, and it's great to witness, and it's great for the national team. I'm so happy for him. He's a great guy as well, on and off the field. So I love what he's doing right now. It's great for the nation.
It's funny, your head coach, John Herdman, I mean, he's made you and anointed you one of the true leaders on this Canadian team. Do you feel like you kind of have, maybe not the obligation, that's the wrong word, but it's empowered you to step up and help show young players like him and Jonathan David the way, and help make that transition just that much more easy?
Yeah, of course. I've been playing in Europe, and have the experience, and I know what it takes. And I could tell you, them two have exactly what it takes, not only on the field, but off the field. The way they carry themselves, and the way they're disciplined on and off the field, it's incredible to have that discipline at such a young age. And you can see where it's taking them to this day and age. Their names is ringing all over the biggest names in Europe. So I'm so happy for them, and it's just the beginning for them, really.
Your coach decides to deploy different tactics for different opponents, and depending on who you're playing and how he wants to play. But it seems like John Herdman has helped bring this team together and taken it to another level to help you all trying to achieve your ultimate goals of making a World Cup. What's his intervention? What's his leadership meant to you and the rest of the team, and how have you seen it kind of unfold over time?
It's he's done an incredible job. The way he brings gives each player the role to lead as well. It really brings maturity into the team, and you can see how it unfolds onto the pitch. The way each player is disciplined to know their roles on the field and to lead, not only as an individual but as a teammate to help the team get through. And you can see the way he's paid so much attention to detail on and off the field against opponents in tactics and set pieces and everything. It's really brought the national team to a different level where you can see it's unfolding not only on the field but off the field, and we're bringing attraction to get sponsors as Nike and everybody to watch our games. So it's a special moment for Canada, and the manager's doing an incredible job to give us that platform to make it to the next level.
And it just seems like the players have bought in, like whether you start, whether you come off the bench, play on the right, play on the left, that goes for all of you. He's kind of shifted and moved around all the players where you're playing different roles. I know that you play down the left-hand side, but are you comfortable playing anywhere across the front three? I mean, you came on, I believe, and played on the right side against the United States. Like, what are your thoughts about the way that the team's being used and your role in particular?
Yeah, the way the team's set out and players are comfortable in playing in any position it's really a flexible team. It's because we have so much talent in the team, so everybody's comfortable playing in numerous amounts of positions. So it's great for the national team and also helps players develop and bring it back to their club football. So it's great, and it's helping the team be versatile and flexible in situations where we have different set of opponents and different formations where we have to play against. So it's good, and if we could continue to perfect that versatility, it'll bring us a long way.
Well, it's been fun to watch. We had Victor Montagliani, the president of CONCACAF, on with us a few weeks ago, and it sounds like the qualification format's going to go into the blender a little bit. Things are going to change. Are you confident, no matter who you play against in the CONCACAF region, that this Canadian team is good enough to get the job done and qualify, no matter what's thrown your way?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, we have so much talent in this team, and we could go and compete with anybody right now. We have the confidence as well. So I just can't wait to get back out there with the boys and push on and try qualify for the World Cup.
Does Atiba want to come back? I mean, he's got to be itching to play with you guys. I mean, it looks like a lot of fun.
I know every time he's there with us, he loves it. He loves the atmosphere, and I'm sure he'd want to come back.
Of course, he's the OG, but he can still play. He can still ball.
Of course.
So,
of course.
We just have a couple minutes left. I want to do our top 5 segment. It's kind of rapid fire. I'm going to ask you the best of, and you just respond with the best answer. So, for example, we'll kick this off with, who is the best player that you've ever played with on your team? So, the best player you've ever played with on your team.
That's a tough question.
Play with a lot of good players, Junior.
Best player I ever played with.
You can pick club or country as well. Club or country is fine.
I only can pick one?
Well, if there's 2, you can throw out 2.
Okay, I picked 2 for a different reason.
Okay.
One would be Tugai. The way he his IQ for the game, he's always like 2 steps ahead, and he pictures movements before he even has the ball, and he always put the ball on your toe for some reason. His talent is immense, and it was a great honor to play with him and train with him as well. He learned a lot from him. And then the second player was Salgado. He played
Michael.
and won medals at the highest level. And when he came to Blackburn, he still had that passion and the desire to win. You could tell he was a winner, even in training. If he lost a game of five-a-side, you couldn't speak to him for the rest of the day. He'll be so upset. Even in two-touch, if he lost to a two-touch, he'll be so upset he wouldn't even talk to you. So he showed me that how important winning is and how you have to fight to win. And winning doesn't come easy. And once you win, it's a beautiful thing. So you could tell he showed me the desire and passion into the game, even coming from Real Madrid and playing at Blackburn. He's won everything, and he came back and he's playing to Blackburn, and he still wants to win at that age. It's remarkable.
Great answers. The best player you've ever played against, who's been on the field you've gone up against?
I'd say Thierry Henry. He was a player I watched since I was 10, 9, watch him play for Arsenal, score incredible goals, and to play against him was one of my icons. It's a dream to play against him.
The best coach you've ever had?
Best coach, I would say Neil Warnock. The way he's supported me on and off the field and really showed that confidence in me and helped me get back to the highest level of football where I need to be at the time. It's great for a manager to have that confidence in you and show you support not only on the field and off the field. He was always there for a conversation.
The best game you've ever played in or been part of? You've been in some big games too. You got some choices here.
I would have to say Wembley. I think to score, be involved in a goal in the last minute, to being down 10 men and all the odds against you, and to be involved in that moment to help your team get to the Premier League is a meaningful game for not only me but the club as well. And to be involved in that goal in such a situation in front of 90,000, I think that's the best game.
Yeah, that's a good one. I thought you were going to say your 3-goal night against Cuba, but a little bit of a different atmosphere. Yeah, that was for you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that'll be the answer to this one. And finally, the best memory that you've had from the game of football.
That would be scoring my hat trick in front of my family and to wear the captain armband for my country for the first time. That was a special moment for me. To get that hat trick in front of my family and my city meant a lot to me.
And that's the top 5 segment that night, just being in the building. Like, there's defining moments, and just I can't wait to be back in that stadium with you guys playing again, because I think that's created a ripple, right? And this is exactly what Canadian soccer needs, these shots in the arm, and there's real true belief in you players today. Look, just finally, before I let you run, I really appreciate your time. I mean, you just turned 30, you have plenty of football ahead of you. What's next for Junior Hoilett? Like, where do you see yourself in a couple of years from now? I know World Cup's in Canada in 6 years. I mean, you might still think you can play at that time. Like, where do you see your career going from here? Obviously, the big promotion battle coming up, and you're under contract with Cardiff for another year. But what else do you want to achieve? Where else do you see your career going?
For me, one of the greatest achievements for me right now to bring the national team to the world stage. I think that's one of my main goals, not only as a kid but right now. It's one of my dreams that I want to work hard for, and not only help me but help the nation, where I think this nation deserves the amount of talent it has from the grassroots. It'll be a remarkable achievement for the nation and for me, and to bring this nation moving forward in the right direction. That'll be my dream, to qualify for the World Cup, and that's one of my main goals right now. Correct.
Well, and look, I think that everyone is united behind that. It would be something special 2022, 2026. I mean, I know that you've trained here in Toronto on your own at times during the course of the off season when you're home to stay fit. I mean, this is something that wasn't around when you made the move overseas, but
Exactly.
would you ever consider finishing your career playing here in North America?
Yeah, always. That's one of my dreams as well, to play for Toronto FC. Uh, it's one I would love to play for. It's a great team, great atmosphere, and to be on my doorstep and play in front of family and friends every week is a dream for me, and that's one of my dreams, to play for Toronto
Do you think it could happen? Do you think that's a dream that can come true? I'm banking on the Canada World Cup to come
FC.
true, Junior. What about Junior Hoilett someday playing at BMO Field for the home club team?
Of course, of course. It's very possible, and I still got a lot of soccer to give, and I'm striving for that dream to come true as well.
And you already got the Raptors hoodie on, so I mean, you're watching. Like, are you still like a good old Toronto boy at heart, just following all the Toronto teams and the Raptors championship run? I mean, it was wild being here when that happened. I can only imagine what's going through your head and body when you see the Raptors win the NBA championship.
Of course, I think I was with the national team in LA, and we was watching it on the big screen as a team. It's a great moment for not only Toronto but for Canada as a whole. So I'm always a Toronto boy at heart, and I'm always supportive.
Right on, buddy. This has been great. You can follow Junior on Twitter at JNR Hoilett and on Instagram, JR Hoilett 23. This has been awesome, buddy. Thank you so much for taking some time. It was great
Thank
calling
you.
your games in the Nations League. Listen, I know that there's kind of some question marks about where international football is and when we'll see games, but I can't wait to see you playing with Canada representing the Maple Leaf. And we wish you nothing but the best of luck in this run-in over the next few weeks. It's going to be crazy, right? A lot of games over a short
A lot
period
of
of
games,
time.
yeah.
But I see a lot of the bookies are saying, look out for Cardiff City. You know, they might be a long shot, but they have a really good chance to crack into that playoff spot. Once you get into a playoff spot, who knows? All
Anything
bets are
happens, yeah.
off.
Exactly. No, it's gonna be exciting times, and can't wait to get back out there and try to make that playoff spot.
Cheers, buddy. Stay healthy, stay strong, and we're looking forward to seeing the celebrations coming up.
Appreciate it.
Do it
Thanks for
against
having me.
Leeds. Do it against Leeds, June 21st. It's the Sunday match in the league championship. Of course, you can get that right here in this country as well. Junior Hoilett, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
The one, the only, the legend that is Junior Hoilett joining us here on Inside the Game. Claudio Reyna is going to join me on Thursday at 2 p.m. On behalf of everyone here at One Soccer, I want to thank Cardiff City Football Club, Junior, and our fine producers, David and Armin. I am Gareth Wheeler, telling you and reminding you to stay home and stay safe.